is now the world leader with the biggest smartphone market. According to data that has come out, India surpassed North America, where it's 25%, China at 16%. This is all in the third quarter of 2022. And India had a 14% share in that. What's going on in the smartwatch market? And you know what's very, very impressive about this data that's come out? All of this is actually being led by local brands. Remember, we've been, also championing go vocal for local, and I'm going to be discussing that with one of those homegrown brands, Boat, the largest that we have for the hearable market, and they have big plans when it comes to the smartwatch market as well. So who better than Vivek Gambhir, the CEO, for us to reach out to? Vivek, you tell us. We've all read this newspaper report. We've all read about this analysis that's come out, how India is now the largest smartwatch market. How? And what kind of data do you have?
Globally, the category is defined as the wearables category, which includes both earwear and smartwatches. And Boat today is the number 5 brand globally in wearables after Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, and Huawei. So it's a matter of great pride that an Indian brand born in India is amongst the best brands in the world. And what's also quite exciting is that there is not that much gap between number 2, number 3, and number 4 brand. And so that's the kind of potential we are seeing in the wearables category. Within the wearables category, what's really now growing very rapidly are the smartwatch segment. And within smartwatches, where we are seeing a huge amount of growth is in smartwatches priced below 2,000 rupees. So a lot of higher end features have come into smartwatches to make smartwatches far more affordable. And so things like Bluetooth calling, longer battery life, quicker charging times, etc., are really redefining the smartwatch space. Along with that, lots of mobile phone features like AMOLED screens, better displays are now coming into much more affordable watches. And if you look at the top 10 best-selling watches in India right now, 5 of them are Boat watches. A lot of this journey started post-COVID, where consumers became a lot more aware about the health and fitness. SpO2, for example, was something which consumers did not know of before, oxygen saturation. But today, as consumers are getting far more aware about their health and fitness, they want to start using smartwatches. And our hope is that these products get far more integrated within consumers' lifestyles to make them much more fitter and healthier.
In fact, you tell us, Boat, has been trying to dominate the wearable, market, at least as far as headphones go. That's what you've been most famous for, right? But you have big plans for smartwatches. That's been identified as a new category.
Yeah, absolutely. For us, we were a relatively late entrant in the category, but in about 18 months, we already have about 20% market share in the category. And our strong belief is that we want to create the platform for smartwatches to become a critical part of consumers living healthier and fitter lifestyles. A few months ago, we had a wearables technology company called KaHa Technologies. KaHa actually owns an end-to-end platform and has about 65 patents. So we have strong IP and technology to create the platform. And in a category like smartwatches, owning the platform gets very important, because once you own the platform, you can offer much better features, more reliable products, bring products to market very quickly, and also provide consumers with a lot more data-driven insights. And KaHa is only one of 6 platforms that are available in the world. And so our belief again is that through KaHa, our entire smartwatch strategy will move from a hardware-first play to a much more software-enabled play to be able to provide with consumers much richer and much advanced features. So early days, but the kind of potential we're seeing is very exciting.
So what are your plans? I come back to it. What are your plans? You've been there for the last 18 months, but if I just follow the journey of what you did with the audio devices, I'm sure there is another POA that's very much in the works. The question is it still under wraps?
Yeah, for us, again, the idea is to really create products at all kinds of price points. And so we want to create very affordable smartwatches for consumers who are entering the category for the first time. We also want to launch much more premium watches. We want to launch much more advanced features. And so today our watches are providing live cricket scores, live football scores. We've just been the first company to introduce heart rate variability as a feature in our products. We are providing gamification, we are providing insights, we are providing stress scores, sleep scores. But the idea is to provide a huge amount of features, products across every single price point, and provide much deeper analytics. So I think the idea is to really now start upping the game as far as providing consumers with a much better set of features. And in terms of, I think, again, numbers, last year, smartwatches were about 15% of our business. This year, I'm hoping that smartwatches will be about 30% of our business. The business has been literally doubling every year, and that's the kind of growth potential that we are seeing in this category.
Do you think for the smartwatch category, the price points that we have, the entry level, there's room for disruption there?
I think the price points are already quite low. 25% of the market's already below, 2,000 rupees. And so for consumers entering the category for the first time, 1,500 rupees to 2,000 rupees is actually a very good price point. But as consumers start using smartwatches and make it more important part of their lifestyle, they will be looking for better designs, better looking watches with much more advanced features. And so I definitely see, opportunities for products to be below 2,000 rupees. But equally, what we start seeing is price points over 3,000 rupees and 5,000 rupees will again become much more relevant for consumers who want to upgrade to watches with much more advanced features. So I think we do believe that the opportunity will be there across all these price points.
The other question now, and there is, of course, a strategy in place. We call it Atmanirbhar, we call it China Plus, we could call it production-linked incentive scheme, whichever way we look at it. India wants to be the next manufacturing hub, and there's no bones about it. I think we've all been very, very clear. Now, having said that, can India dominate when it comes to the manufacturing of smartphones and become the factory of the world for smartwatches?
Yeah. So again, this has been an incredible growth story for us. Last year, we were not really manufacturing much in India. This year, in the first 9 or 10 months, we have manufactured and produced over 10 million units in India locally. That's the kind of dramatic scale up we've seen as far as Make in India is concerned. But for us, it's not just Make in India, it is Make in India, it is Design in India, it is Engineer in India. So out of the last 16 watches that we've launched, 9 have actually been designed by us, by our own teams. And so for us, if you really want Make in India to be viable, it just can't be about local assembly. It has to be about local engineering, local R&D, and local design. And over 30% of our employees today currently are working in R&D and product development. So that's the kind of tech leadership that we want to be able to drive. The journey has started with local assembly, but now we are trying to create the entire ecosystem. We have a joint venture with Dixon Technologies. We are partnering with lots of other companies. So this year, about 40% of our volumes will be produced locally, and that number will only increase in the future. And along with assembly, significant focus on design and engineering in India.
So how far are we from all of that? You've got that joint venture with Dixon. Simultaneously, the government, of course, is trying to ensure that we have semiconductors and chips that are going to be manufactured, but that's all very, very long term. I don't know if any of that is going to happen in 10 years, whether India can also have an answer to the likes of NVIDIA, etc. So till then, and all of this is going to take time, can India be the factory of the world?
In these categories, absolutely. I think over the next 3 to 5 years, you will see significant progress that is going to be made in India. There are lots of players talking about manufacturing PCBs, manufacturing batteries over the next few years. it's important to create the ecosystem. It's important to nurture local manufacturers, provide the right incentives. But the government is very keen. The private players are very keen. Indian players are very keen. And this is one category because you are seeing a huge amount of share by Indian players. See, you need to have a strong local business to be able to propel manufacturing forward. Because in this category, generally you are finding Indian players have really stood out quite a bit. That level of base volume allows us to now dream bigger and really look at India becoming a manufacturing hub. So we are very committed. Today it's Make in India for India. Tomorrow it will be Make in India for the world.
Build in India, build for the world. Now, having said that, since I do have you here, I wanted to get a sense from you. How was the festive season, Diwali season for boat? It is a time where we all like to give, we all like to upgrade as well. But there's been pressure on the wallet. For example, now we're hearing from paint companies that people didn't paint houses the way we had actually thought they would this Diwali season. What was it like for you? And what can we expect in the upcoming Christmas, New Year holiday time?
Yeah. See, for us, I think today the penetration rates in categories like smartwatches is still extremely low, which is why we have continued to see very strong, high double-digit growth in smartwatches. We've also seen good growth in audio. And what's been interesting is that along with growth in online marketplaces, as consumers have been returning back to shopping in physical locations, we are seeing good growth in offline as well. So while there may have been a little bit of moderation in growth, generally across multiple categories, given the kind of ticket size our categories are in, how important this category is for gifting, and also given the number of launches that we have done, I think the growth in this category has been robust. But certainly, as you mentioned, across the board, given concerns of inflation, there has been a certain moderation of growth, generally in both fast-moving consumer goods and in consumer durables.
So what can we expect this Christmas and New Year's?
For us, I think we are very excited. We have a slew of new launches planned. In our audio category, we have new launches planned in automatic noise cancellation, ANC products. We have a bunch of new watches that are being planned. And so across both Christmas and January, Republic Day sales tend to be quite big as well. So we are quite optimistic about the growth momentum being maintained across December and January. Cautiously optimistic as we always are. And we are a very paranoid company. And so, we'll continue pushing hard in terms of new innovations. But certainly, I think given the kind of launches that we are doing, we are looking forward to the Christmas and the January season.
And will there be deep discounting? VC money is drying up. There's a winter season on. So will all of this be so that boat can also become profitable?
Look, we've been profitable from day one itself. And so profitability is core to who we are as a company. We've never been the cheapest company in the category. The brand is very strong and does command a certain amount of premium. What we do very well is to get the price value proposition right. So as long as we offer the right features to our consumers, engage them, make products affordable. Affordability is very important to us, but we will never be the cheapest brand. And so we will offer the right level of discounting, but definitely we will also be careful to ensure that we continue to drive profitable growth. That's part of our DNA.
Okay, so you've always been profitable, and you're not going to do deep discounting. There's a new trend that it is there if you're smart enough to see it. The VC money may not be available for customer acquisition and advertising, but it seems as if banks are the new VCs, and it's the banks which are subsidizing the discounts, or have we got that wrong?
No, see, for us, again, we have a very strong balance sheet, and we've just, raised 500 crores of additional capital from one of our existing investors and a new investor. So as far as, again, the balance sheet is concerned, working capital, cash available, we've always maintained a very prudent balance sheet and will continue to do so. So for us, we're not reliant on, VC money. The idea again is to have a profitable economic model and make the right kinds of sensible investments, but ensure that the balance sheet and the P&L remain healthy. We've always done that, and we'll continue doing so in the future.
So here's wishing you all the very best. And Vivek, I'm going to take this opportunity of being with you live on national television, saying, please invite us to one of your factories. We can even do it with Dixon and do a factory visit and show our viewers a made in India brand being manufactured in India.
We would love to take you on it. Absolutely. Let's plan this out, and we look forward to having you in our factory.
Thanks so much, Vivek.